Hello, everyone, and welcome to Compassionate Chats. I'm Tanys Coughlan from My Place Home Care, and I am joined by Heidi Gagne, also from My Place Home Care.
Hello.
And we have a special guest today,
We
Dave
do.
Neill. So,
Hi, thanks for having me.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do? Because the Glebe Center is a big center. So tell us what you do there.
Yeah, so my name, as you said, Dave O'Neill. I'm the manager of community programs here at the Glebe Center. So what that means is I oversee our two community outreach programs. So we have the Senior Active Living Center, which we have some wonderful programming, everything from physical fitness, ukulele instruction, language courses.
Really?
Everything under the sun. We've got art classes, all sorts of wonderful things for anyone living in Ottawa, 55 plus. And that goes on Monday to Friday. And a lot of great things that happen in this place. The other side is our community support services, which is funded from the province. It's not fully funded, so we do rely on some volunteers and some fundraising and all good activities, but that's really about day programming. So we have a day program that goes Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and that's for folks with mild to moderate cognitive decline. They get to come here and have a full day of activities as well as a meal. It's a lot of fun, some wonderful program facilities who run that. We have medical drives for people living in the community who need to get from home to hospital or home to doctor's appointments. They can call us and we can make arrangements to get through our volunteers or through our dedicated bus that we have here with a driver. We do safety and security checks. We do telephone insurance programming. We have a whole fleet of volunteers who call folks and make sure that they're okay living at home and that they're thriving. And we do what's called service arrangements, so we can help people with snow removal, with home maintenance, with private PSW care, things like that. We act as a go-between, so we can put people in touch with trusted providers that we know that have been vetted, and so that people don't have to do all the work themselves and try to deal with this complicated system. So that in a nutshell is what makes up community programs, and that's what I oversee.
So I have an interesting anecdote about the TAP program.
Okay.
Insurance program. Sorry, frog in my throat. My grandmother actually started the first TAP program in Ottawa.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool.
At St. Pat's home is where we were. And so I volunteered on that when I was 12, I think.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And we should tell the audience that TAP stands for Telephone Assurance Program.
Yes, Telephone Assurance Program. Yeah. So that was many years ago.
Around a while.
Yeah, it's really cool that we have a whole range of volunteers from 12 years old all the way up who are giving their time to make these calls and to make connections with older adults, and it allows us to help folks in Ottawa to stay at home and age at home and place as long as possible and do it with dignity and gracefully. So it's a really good service we're able to provide.
That's awesome. So how does one, do you have to become a member in order to access these services?
No. So our two sides that I explained, the Senior Active Living Center, you have to become a member. So there's an annual membership fee, and then there's course registration fees. You get a whole host of other advantages by being a member, discounts in local areas and information on our mailing list that goes out. But for our community support services, you don't need to be a member. So community support services can be activated. It depends on what you're looking for. For the day programming, you do have to have a referral from Ontario Health at Home. So you have to have a case person who calls. So that can be arranged by anyone just contacting Ontario Health at Home and saying that they think they have a need, and then they get put on a wait list. For the TAP assurance, for the medical drives, or for the service arrangements, it's just a matter of calling us, giving us a call and talking to one of our community outreach program facilitators, and they can start all the processes there for that.
And that's anywhere in the city or in the Glebe area?
No, so our catchment area for all of our community support services is quite a large catchment. We are east of the Rideau River. Sorry, we are south of the 417. We are west of Bronson and north of Bank and Hunt Club. But what we always say is, that's a lot for people to be aware of. You don't need to remember that. Just give us a call. If we can't do it, there are community support service providers around the city, and we work really closely with those providers. So we will put you in touch with the right person. We don't want people to have to try to navigate a system that's too confusing. So just give us a call, and if it's not us, it will be somebody else, and we'll make sure we make that link for you.
I think that's so important, is that not getting that nope, can't help you. That is the worst possible thing that you can get when you're stressed or worried about something, or, just are so overwhelmed with everything that's happening in your life, to get, sorry, I can't help you.
And that's something, it's so true. And that's something that our sector is working on and getting really better at, is we're acknowledging that we want to help each other out. We want to do things to support our older adults in Ottawa, and really why we do what we do, so that our sector is getting much better at working together and saying, this is what we're here for, and trying to help each other out, and doing referrals internally into each other to help support our older adults so that they're not struggling, they're not hitting barriers to access these services that are so important for them to stay at home.
So you're creating your own community in your community supports.
Exactly.
And I think that's a way we should be going. And we see that more, is that community, whether it's, helping with childcare, it's helping with, your girlfriends, your guys that you want to hang out with. Like, community is becoming so important to people in order to survive nowadays.
It's so true. And I think it's one of the, maybe it's one of the positive sides of the pandemic, is that as we went through that and not having that support and seeing how important it was to have those things in our lives, that now we're reaffirming the importance of it. We're seeing more and more of it. And we see, we can see that even just sort of in the work we do, just with the volunteers that we're getting, the people that are reaching out. I have one great volunteer who started about 2 or 3 months ago. She volunteers. She's a retired nurse, volunteers in our day program. And when I first met her, we do a little volunteer interview, and I said, so why are you interested in volunteering now? And she said, well, a good friend of mine said, okay, it's time to get off your keister after these years and get out and do some good. Her friend volunteered at Maycourt. She said, time to get, so she said, okay, so that's what I'm doing. And now she volunteers with us every Tuesday in our day program and other things. We had our first community flu clinic. She volunteered for that. Yeah, so different things. She volunteered this past weekend at our craft fair. Lovely lady, but it was just so funny to see that, as you say, is that start with the community, start with a friend who said, okay, let's get going. You need to do something.
Yeah.
Well, especially if she's a retired nurse. I mean, as a nurse, most of them are just give. And I can appreciate after retiring for a period of time, you're just like, I need some me time.
Yeah.
After dedicating yourself to other people for so long in your career, that I can appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, I'm feeling that same volunteer pull of that, a different kind of community. My daughter's graduating high school this spring, and she'll be moving off probably to Toronto if she has her way. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do now at home? And yeah, she has to go to work. We drive her to work because she doesn't have her license yet. And we drive her to friends' houses and things like that. But I'm going to have some time. And so I would love to volunteer in Ottawa. I don't live in Ottawa. I live south, but I'm thinking there's a few retirement homes near where I live that, maybe I should go. In my line of work, I'm used to it now. So I'm like, maybe I should expand my community and advance my volunteer community. And so it's something that I've been really thinking about lately, about what I want to do with my quote unquote free time.
Well, I mentioned the TAP program, how I was involved when I was younger. I was also involved in helping with the recreational activities, and I worked in the coffee shop at St. Pat's as well, and helped out with the crafts and all of that stuff at that age. It was a really valuable experience. And, I would encourage anybody that has, whether it's children or grandchildren too, to get involved with them. I mean, my grandmother was there, of course, right?
Yeah.
But bring them with you to
Yeah.
volunteer.
I used to volunteer when I was in high school. My parents were in various committees and groups, and I would volunteer. And I didn't have to do the volunteer hours to graduate high school. That was a relatively new thing now, but I would have gotten all my hours by the beginning of grade 9 because I volunteered so much. And so it really does. At first, I'm like, really, you're going to force kids to volunteer? But for me, volunteering was just normal. Like I would just automatically do it. But then it's for those kids that might not think about it, but understand the importance of that volunteering.
It teaches, it's so important, right? It creates a community. It shows people the importance of giving back and being involved. And it's funny you say, talking about yourself and my son has been, I've worked in senior living for most of my career. So my son has been going into retirement homes as early as 2 and spending time. And he did 2 summers ago, a volunteer placement at Pearly Health. Proud to say that he was the youngest of the group and won the Student Youth Volunteer Award.
Wow.
And then just volunteered this past summer. I'll admit he didn't volunteer with us this year. He decided he wanted to do some volunteering with kids, and so did the Glebe Community Center for their summer program. But again, creating the community, it's so important, right?
It is.
We see it here. We have, actually before this, I was on a call arranging our volunteer appreciation barbecue that's going to be happening in the summer. And we have got a little potluck coming up for our volunteers for Christmas celebration. But it's a community. They come together, they give back, they're doing something really important. They're helping us run, and at the same time creating community for themselves. It's going to be a part of that's bigger than just one person.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. What are the activities? So I was at the Abbotsford House yesterday because Dave is wonderful and is partnering with us for our dementia conversation, learning and conversation series, which we are doing on Tuesdays at the Abbotsford House location. So when I walk in there, I absolutely love that building. I love everything that's there. There's like a table of tchotchkes and plates and stuff all for sale. There's hand knit crafts. There's hand knit gloves for sale. It's like it's like you're walking into your grandmother's home of all these great old pieces of furniture, and there's such a sense of community. So okay, what goes on there? Tell us everything about that place.
So what I should start with is just to clarify to anyone, to all our people watching, is that when we look at our organization, so Glebe Center is an umbrella organization that has 3 service streams. It has long-term care, it has the Senior Active Living Center, which I mentioned, and the Community Support Service, which I mentioned. So all of that makes up the Glebe Center. And it takes place in 3 buildings. Our long-term care has the 6-story tower on Bank Street, as well as a 2-story building. It's called Bronson Place. And the 3rd building is called Abbotsford House, or more known as Abbotsford by the people here. And it is part of the Glebe Center, a registered charity, and it's just the community support services and the senior active living take place in this historic building. So we are a historical building, which is lovely, although it does provide its own issues. For instance, mine, I do not have windows in my office I can open because I couldn't get updated windows being a historical building.
Yeah.
But it's this wonderful brick building. And we have all of the great programs. And what goes on here, what you're referring to, Heidi, is some of our crafts that are for sale. So we have such, kind of going back to our conversation, we have a great group of volunteers who all year long are making crafts. They make these wonderful handmade teddy bears, all sorts of wonderful things. And we sell those throughout the year. And that's part of a fundraising effort. As I think I mentioned at the beginning, we're not fully funded from the province. And so we do a lot of fundraising throughout the year. And some of those things you're seeing are the things that we're selling throughout the year to fundraise dollars to bring in the money to keep these programs running. You happen to be here right after our big craft sale. We had a huge craft sale this past weekend. It was a great success. And so after that, for 2 weeks, we run our mini craft bazaar, which is all the stuff that's left over that's still up for sale. So if anybody wants them, come on in between 8:30 and 4:30. And we have a great community around us who also drop off gently used things. So we have our nearly new shop, which has a boutique, lots of women's clothing. So all the thrifters and vintage folks, they can come in. We have a lot of vintage items, women's clothing, people will come in and purchase. We have books, we have DVDs, we have all sorts. People will often come in and say, "Do you guys want this?" And it's like we have the most eclectic amount of things here. Yeah. One of the ones who actually came up this morning to me while I was covering the desk and said, "So we got this donation of a IKEA chocolate mousse. I don't think we should sell this one. It's a physical chocolate that you make a mousse." So I said, "No, we won't sell that one. I'll buy it."
Like a mold? Like a chocolate
mold? No,
it's
the chocolate. The chocolate is all pre-cut and you put together, and when it's done, you have a standing mousse.
Oh.
So
okay.
People just do everything to us, and then we just sell those things throughout the year. A big one that we do is the Great Glebe Garage Sale in May, and that's where we do a lot of. That's a big day for us. A great, big sell off of all the things we've had throughout the year, and that's a big fundraiser for us.
That's an amazing sale too.
Pardon?
That's an amazing garage sale too. So
it's an amazing garage sale.
Make sure you stop into the Glebe Center.
Yes, we have people lined up at our door to start. We have a lot of really nice jewelry goes out that day as well. Those are really good things that we have the stuff that we're selling all year long, but some things we put aside specifically for the garage sale as they come in. So.
Nice. Yeah, when I was there last night, there was one room had it looked like some kind of exercise class and stretching, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool!" It's like it's just so many great things.
That was our Tai Chi group. Okay. Our Tai Chi group goes every Monday. We do a lot of classes. And then what happens often is our classes, people will take them, they'll learn a new skill, they'll learn something they love, and then that turns into a group. And they're very similar but different in that we charge a very, very small amount. So classes, because we have to pay our instructors, there's a registration fee. We still have a mandate of keeping it affordable and accessible for all older adults and across the city. And we do have a subsidized option for folks who do meet that need. But what happens is people will come, they'll do a program, they'll fall in love with the program, but they've probably mastered the skill. So they don't need to go to their introductory class. So then they flip over into a group. And a group is a drop-in price of $2 to drop in a week. And that's what you see with the Tai Chi. It's those folks who've done it, and now they're coming together to just work on their skills, but it's not a taught class, which is really interesting. We see it with our Mahjong group. That started off a Mahjong class. We have a French speaking group. We have a Spanish speaking group, and all of these stems from the classes that they initially took. And it's really interesting.
That's amazing. Awesome. So how does one become a member of the Glebe, of the community?
The community programs here. The Glebe Center. You can just call it the community center, the Abbotsford Senior Center. You just come on in. You come on in, and we do quarterly guides. So we have a spring, summer, all winter guide. We're just moving into our winter one now. We typically, your membership is for a full year. We do our membership renewals right now, so actually great time to be talking. Our membership renewals start December 1st, and people can come in at any time, but the big push is usually the first week of December. We have people renewing their membership coming in, and it's just a matter of coming in, meeting with us, and we get you all set up in our system, and then you can start to register for the classes, activities, and things that you want to do. And once you're a member, you can register for classes online or over the phone or in person. A variety of great things. We're currently exploring evening programming. So that's another thing, Heidi, you would have seen. Yesterday, we just wrapped up the end of a 6-week course titled Time is Just a 4-Letter Word. And it was delivered by retired professor Dr. Peter Watson, who is at Carleton, and he's a physics professor, PhD in physics, and gave this wonderful 6-week course all about time and what time is and how we perceive time. Really interesting stuff. We're currently working with a group called Friends of Lifelong Learning that is trying to bring back the lifelong learning program that was canceled at Carleton U. So Carleton paused their lifelong learning while they reviewed it. In the meantime, they're still making decisions on what comes next. But we said, hey, there is a need. We have people clamoring to continue learning, to have some of that cerebral stuff. As we said, this is a good opportunity. So I met this group, the Friends of Lifelong Learning advocacy group, and we said, okay, what can we do in the interim? Carleton is supposed to be working through the decision and making decisions about the next steps are in early 2026. But in the interim, we ran this course. And we also are now running once a month what we call the Learned Lecture Series, which is a speaker series it's very cerebral based, all, high level PhDs, people talking about experts in their field. So we had one upcoming that is Josh Beard, who is a retired professor who's doing a dramatic reading of Great Expectations in December. Yeah, keeping that Christmas theme. And then Professor Stephen Richler is coming in January to do talk about the civil rights movement through song. And so he talks all about how music inspires civil rights, and it's actually a sing-along for the people who joined to come on in. So those series will happen once a month, and that's something that's going to be happening typically Mondays from 4:30 to 6:30.
Wow. And so, I'm assuming there's a website that all this information would be available on as well.
Yeah, exactly. You can go to the Glebe Center website, and then, oh my gosh, sorry guys, I got a phone call. You can go to the Glebe Center website, and then on the top tab, you just go over to Abbotsford, and then What's Up at Abbotsford, and you'll see all the information things. Another great thing is for folks to get on our mailing list. And so they can do that by contacting myself or calling in and just asking to be placed on the mailing list, and we send regular updates of what's going on. You don't have to be a member to be part of our mailing list. But it's a great way to just kind of see what's going on around here, what we're doing, what we're looking at doing, and there's always some fun jokes. We have our program coordinator, Paco, she's been here for a long time. She's been here for 19 years, and she is just part of this place. She's part of the fabric and makeup of this place. Very beloved by all of the members here. And so she puts regular, usually every week, sometimes every 10 days sort of thing.
That's amazing. Okay, so I noticed you have a community grocery trip coming up.
Yeah,
what is that?
Thanks for bringing it up. That's something I'm very proud of. Something that I looked into when I started. One of the first things I wanted to do is create a grocery run for any older adults who might be living in isolation, struggling with a disability, whatever it might be. We know how important it is to eat well and to have a good, to have good food, and how much of a struggle it can be for older adults just to physically get to the grocery store.
Yes.
So I was looking at ways, how can we do this, and how can we do it at no cost or very low cost so that it makes it barrier free for older adults. So we were able to partner with Colonel by Retirement residents, and they provided with a bus and a driver. And we worked with Riley's Your Independent at Billings Bridge, as they offered us senior discount and free delivery, which is really, really key for us, so we can free up space. And so every second week, we are able to go and we physically go to the doors of the older adults. We don't ask them to come anywhere. We pick them up at their door. It is an accessible bus. Take them to the grocery store. Our volunteer and staff members stay with them. They do need to be relatively independent. They're not, there's no supervision. We have one volunteer, one staff, but that way they're able to go pick up the groceries. They can bring one bag on the bus, and then everything else can be delivered for free, and they can get their groceries done.
That is amazing. What a fantastic idea. And it really is. It is a difficult thing. Just grocery shopping, you'd think is super easy. But I mean, when I was younger, I remember I would need to go to the grocery store and I'm like, oh, I have to take the bus.
Yeah.
And I'm young and spry and I can carry bags, but it's awkward and difficult. And you can't carry 5 bags of groceries if one of those bags has milk and like ground beef and, chicken in it. It's very difficult. And there are services out there that can drive you, but again, that's going to cost money.
Yeah, and especially in winter, right? Like we know what all the winters are like, and just even if you are taking the bus, you have to get to the bus stop, or if you're, para is such a great service if you qualify for paratranspo, but even with paratranspo, there's still a cost, and then you have to have a big window of time that you're waiting, so it really eliminates that, and it allows people to just have that freedom. It's been widely praised by the folks who have been a part of it so far.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we're very excited by it. So.
That is a great idea. And that was your idea.
I can't take full credit. Another provider, the Good Companions, which is an excellent, amazing organization that does the same work as us, they already have a community shopping trip.
Okay.
I'm already a resident of Centertown, and I had seen their grocery bus many times, and I was like, "This is so cool." So when I came on board here, I said, "Okay, this is something I want to also implement." So it's new for us, but I can't claim full responsibility.
But you got it off the ground. And you know what? In this day and age, that's also, snaps to you for that one. Just getting something off the ground these days is just amazing. An amazing feat.
Yeah. What was different from ours is the partnership with the retirement home. That's how we were able to make it so that there's no cost. Because again, being that we're not fully funded, there's no way that there's no way we could have provided it. But
again, there's that whole community thing.
Community is key.
Right? We need to do a whole chats podcast just on the importance of community.
Exactly.
It just seems to come up in so many of our conversations. But then again, our podcast, we are also trying to build a community. Yeah. So, and having people, maybe they want to listen to the podcast and they hear about the Glebe Center, and then they hear about Solva, and then they hear about all these other people that we've had on. And in Ottawa, here is a community for you. And again, at My Place Home Care, we also try to never say, I can't help you. We will always try to help with a resource or somebody that you can call, a phone number, something that you're not hitting a blank wall, because that's, again, the worst possible thing that you can ever have is somebody says, sorry, I can't help you. And then you hear a dial tone. Oh, I'm so angry.
Well, it's funny. Even the title of the chats, compassionate chats. What is more compassionate than community, right?
That's right.
Our community drives is compassion. Once you get to know a person and spend time with them and make them part of your life, you can't help but have compassion for them. And it's it's one of the most crucial things. If we get together, especially in the age that we're currently living in, things that we're seeing, to really get together and form the community, because that's where we look out for one another. It's how we support one another. It's just so, so important.
Yeah. And it's funny because, and a lot of our podcasts, we always come back to COVID and the pre-COVID and post-COVID. And it was a horrible time for many, many, many people. But it really did teach us what was important. And I think it was really the right time, I think, for the world to see how important community and caring about each other and thinking about another person besides yourself and being aware of those around you is the way to live, and I struggle. My daughter, we were, oh my gosh, I don't know why we did this. We were in Toronto last weekend to do a tour of U of T. And then we went to the Eaton Center on Saturday after Black Friday. I don't know why we did that, but she wanted to go, and she has anxiety with around a lot of people. So I'm surprised she made it as long as she did. But we were all just flabbergasted with how people were just walking willy-nilly, and then they would just stop right in front of you without even any kind of awareness. Now, maybe our family is just riddled with anxiety, but we're constantly watching everyone around us, so we're not in the way.
Yeah.
And if we need to stop or, try to figure out where we are, because the Eaton Center is so confusing, even though I used to work there many, many moons ago. It's so confusing now. Like we would like go against the wall and to stop, but other people would just stop flat out and just start talking, or, 4 friends would walk all this way, like faced all together. And it's just like, no, you need to be aware. You need to have compassion and think about those around you. And it's not just about you. And I think we're slowly moving more into that. And I think that is the way we need to go. 100% we need to go.
I agree.
Community centers and what the Glebe Center community programs are doing is the right way to go.
Well, I think so.
I think it's the right way to go. We need to do the community. We just need to do that. And I think COVID showed us that.
Yeah, and it's so true. Right? I love that. That's kind of how you wrap it up and say that, because that's really what we are. When people come in here, it's that sense of community, that sense of belonging. I had one lady tell me, she's one of our members recently, who said discovering this place was the greatest thing that ever happened to her, because she moved from Toronto, and as an older adult, she moved to Ottawa to be closer to her adult kids,
right.
As many do. But when she left Toronto, she left her community, and it's so hard to find that when you're an older adult, right? When you moved and we don't have work, or you don't have school, or you don't have one of those other institutions that bring you together to form that. And she just happened to move into this neighborhood and kind of said, okay, what's that all about? And walked in here, discovered us, and now she's here. She volunteers, she does the courses, she's here 3 to 4 days a week, doing any and everything that we have going on here. It's amazing, right? And just because of that, building that community, really what we do, what we're all about.
And it's when you walk in the door and somebody says, Norma, how are you? Or, it's the cheers, Norm. Hey, yeah. Norm, that is a community. And walking into a building and having 5 people say hi to you and by name. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is. And then it's the whole, it's the whole part of it. It's that, then it's the checking in, and then if you're having a bad day, someone's aware of it. The reality and the sad part is, when we're dealing with aging, the people are losing their spouse, they're facing other challenges, and knowing that someone's going to ask you about that, someone's going to be there and just be a support for you, whether it's myself or some of the staff here, or it's another member or another person, volunteer, right? It's that builds, it's so important. It builds that community even more.
That you matter.
Yeah, they matter. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Every person matters.
Beautiful. So we're going to put the contact information underneath this video so that they can reach out to you. And so you can use the website to donate.
Yeah, best place to donate. Yeah, if you go to you can do one of 2 ways. You can donate directly through Canada Helps. So it's canadahelps.ca and just search the Glebe Center. Or you could go to our webpage, theglebeCenter.ca, and just hit donate now, and it will redirect you right to Canada Helps, which is what we use. And of course, if you're not tech savvy, you want to come in and pay. So just always welcome for that. We still take checks if people want to come on in. However you want to come, it's always nice to get a hello, friendly face as well. So whatever works for you. But yeah, GlebeCenter.ca, donate now, or direct to Canada Helps and search the Glebe Center.
Or visit Dave at 950 Bank Street.
And come visit me at 950 Bank and come say hello. Have a cup of coffee, have a cup of tea, have a snack. We've always got those on. And if you forget your milk, Heidi, we'll provide you with milk.
I ran out of time yesterday. I didn't bring milk. I borrowed some. I offered to donate $2.
She did.
Beautiful. Awesome. So thank you so much for coming on, Dave, and talking to us about the Glebe Center and all of the wonderful programs that you have there and the community that you're building. It's a
Thank you so much for having me. This was such a pleasure. Really happy to be a part of this.
Awesome. Thank you. And don't forget to come back again later this month for our compassionate conversations. Have an awesome day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye all.